In 1999, Ja Rule released his debut album, Veni Vidi Vici, under Murder Inc. Records, marking the start of something big. The album shot to number 3 on the Billboard 200 and sold 185,000 copies in its first week. Murder Inc. wasn't just gaining recognition, they were rapidly overtaking the competition, with whispers of the label surpassing even Rockefeller and Bad Boy Records. Among the new talent brought into the fold was La Vita Rainer, known as Vita.
That you caught me, baby, in that house on the hill when you drop like 80.
Before joining Murder Inc., she appeared in the movie Belly, where she portrayed DMX's side chick, a role she landed after 3 intense auditions. It was this performance that caught the attention of Hype Williams, who then introduced her to Irv Gotti. She showed a lot of prospect. Her presence and talent impressed Irv, who followed through by signing her. What shook the game was, despite appearing on several hit tracks and contributing to the label's success, Vita never released a solo album. Over the years, she seemingly vanished from the spotlight, rarely giving interviews and releasing no new music. So the question remains, what really happened to Vita? In 1981, in Plainfield, New Jersey, La Vita G. Rainer was born, the younger sister of Kima Rainer, who would go on to join the iconic 90s Bad Boy Records trio, Total. From a young age, Vita and Kima embodied a hot and cold dynamic. While Kima found her passion in singing, Vita gravitated toward rapping, developing her own style as she watched her sister rise to fame. Vita admired Kima's success, but the path she would eventually take wasn't quite what she had envisioned. As Kima's star continued to rise in the music world, Vita began to feel the pull of the spotlight herself. However, it wasn't the music industry that first caught her attention, it was acting. When she heard about auditions for a gritty urban drama called Belly, directed by Hype Williams, she decided to take a chance. The film needed someone to play a feisty, street-smart teenager, and Vita felt like the role was calling her. After auditioning not once, but 3 times, she finally landed the part as DMX's side chick, a performance that would end up being a pivotal moment in her career.
Picture me in a custom drop, 5 double.
Her raw energy and authenticity on set didn't go unnoticed. Hype Williams, the visionary director behind Belly, was impressed by her talent and presence. Their working relationship blossomed, and Hype eventually took Vita under his wing, becoming her manager. Through this connection, Vita was introduced to the world of hip-hop, including meeting Irv Gotti during the shoot for Method Man's Breakups to Makeups video. From there, her journey into the music industry truly began. She proved herself to the gang as far as rapping goes, and before you know it, she got signed to Murder Inc., joining a roster that was quickly gaining traction in the industry called The Murderers. The label was on fire, with artists like Ja Rule leading the charge, and Vita was positioned to be the next big star. And that's how she became the first lady of Murder Inc. Vita put in a lot of work while at the label, and not long she released her first single self-titled Vita, which became the Murderers album's 3rd single. She quickly followed this up by appearing in a couple of hit singles such as Ja Rule's Put It On Me in 2000. The song reached number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became a fan favorite, giving Vita a significant boost in visibility. She continued to feature on other Murder Inc. projects, including songs like Down For You with Ja Rule and Ashanti. Down For You debuted at number 6 on the Billboard charts, being yet another commercial success Vita had featured in. Fans had grown curious and wanted to see more of her. However, the unexpected would happen. While there was much anticipation surrounding her debut, the project never came to fruition. Various industry issues would account for this. As Murder Inc. continued to dominate the charts, Vita found herself in the background, unable to capitalize on the opportunities she had helped create. By the mid-2000s, her album now about 5 years late, her presence on the label had significantly diminished, and she would go on to leave the label to sign to the Game's The Black Wall Street record label. Many assumed that Vita's album never dropped because she needed time to heal after her mother's passing. However, according to Vita, this wasn't the reason. Instead, she felt like she was caught in a whirlwind of label issues and lacked control over her own career. As a newcomer to Murder Inc., she felt dwarfed by the label's larger-than-life operations. The album not coming out wasn't due to my mom passing away, Vita revealed. There was a lot happening at Murder Inc. that was out of my control. I couldn't push for things to happen. With so much going on within the crew, my album kept getting sidelined. I was new and couldn't dictate anything. It wasn't about my talent. If I wasn't good enough, Hype Williams wouldn't have signed me. It was all about timing. One significant problem was Irv Gotti's intense focus on Ja Rule. Murder Inc. was heavily centered around Ja, much like Rockefeller was with Jay-Z. In this setup, the flagship artist received the lion's share of the attention. Despite Vita's growing buzz and hot singles, she struggled to get the backing needed for her solo album, and her frustration began to boil over. "Why isn't my album coming out?" Vita questioned. "I had hits, and my fan base was growing, but Irv was all about Ja." This mounting frustration eventually led to tension with Irv Gotti, who accused Vita of becoming difficult. "Vita got a big head and started talking reckless," Irv said. "She wanted to do things her way, and she thought I didn't know what I was doing." In my view, Vita's situation worsened when Ashanti and Charlie Baltimore joined Murder Inc. After years of anticipation, her album seemed perpetually on the edge of release but never materialized. This stagnation likely stemmed from Irv's sudden focus on Ashanti. Irv knew Ashanti had star power, but her rapid rise threw him off, a source explained. As Irv's attention shifted to Ashanti and Charlie, Vita found herself increasingly sidelined, struggling for visibility and support from the label. Vita's career took a significant hit when she faced a major setback involving a sample clearance for her album. In 1991, Madonna released the iconic track "Justify My Love," a song that shot straight to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and held that position for 2 weeks. Why is Madonna relevant here? Because in 2001, Vita and Ashanti put their own spin on "Justify My Love" for the Fast and Furious soundtrack. Vita recorded 2 versions of the track. One was a faithful homage to Madonna's original, while the other featured Vita rapping over the beat. The original version was made to be one of the Fast and Furious soundtrack, but the rap version, which Vita hoped would showcase her versatility, fell flat. "I decided to do it to show my versatility," Vita explained. "I love Madonna's voice and thought my voice would sound hot on it." However, the situation took a dramatic turn when Madonna cleared the sample for the version that stayed closest to her own. But the rap-infused version, which Vita had put her own spin on, was rejected. Madonna wasn't having it. Without the clearance for her unique take, she had no choice but to let the project die out. Despite this, Vita expressed gratitude for the opportunity to work with such a legendary artist. She remained optimistic, viewing the collaboration as a significant milestone. Still, although the initial release it made it to the popular Fast and Furious franchise, the track didn't make waves. It was widely seen as a knockoff of Madonna's classic. Now, after Vita had had enough of the label, she left it to join The Game's The Black Wall Street record label, seen as a fresh opportunity for her career. At Black Wall Street, Vita was set to work alongside The Game and other artists affiliated with the label, aiming to revitalize her music career. However, her time with Black Wall Street Records didn't pan out as hoped. She didn't release many projects as expected, and her debut album would eventually be released as a free mixtape on DatPiff, which is an online distribution platform. After a lengthy hiatus, she tried her best to come back. In 2012, released a mixtape titled Pre-Cum. The controversial title was intended purely for shock value, but it didn't do the numbers she was used to. This marked a dying in passion for making music, as also her fan base was dwindling out. She, however, remained persistent, and alongside her musical efforts, Vita also ventured into the fashion world, working on producing a lingerie line. In 2017, Vita continued to explore her musical interests by collaborating with European rapper CHG, Unfadable, releasing various songs and videos together. Despite the challenges she faced in her earlier career, these projects highlighted her ongoing dedication to music and her ability to adapt and evolve in the industry. Regarding her personal life, Vita Rayner has always been keen on maintaining her privacy. She deliberately keeps her private affairs out of the public eye, focusing instead on her music career. This choice means there is limited information about her personal relationships, including details about her husband, past relationships, and children. Her preference for privacy has contributed to the lack of public knowledge surrounding her personal life. What happened to Vita in your opinion? Leave a comment down below.
Have you ever seen a chick as mean as this? Glove fitting jeans that spit 16 to